Why did you sell your blue Porsche GT3? Are you still planning to move abroad now you've moved house? We bought the fire pit. That was like over £1,000. What happened is I pocketed the money and I thought, oh, I'll put that towards the house. I had like a really random question the other day. It was really weird and it was kind of contradictory. Why aren't you buying luxury anymore? And why are you only buying vintage and premium brands? But then on the other hand, it was like, why have you bought a luxury car? And hey everyone, oh my word, I feel a bit rough this morning. So we had some friends up to stay with us last night and they've only just left. And we were like up until all hours, and we've got like a fire pit now in the garden, and it's so cozy and it's really warm. So, and it's warm at the moment with the weather, but obviously warm with the fire pit. And we were just like sat there eating, we had a barbecue, we were drinking, we had like such a good time, and then they stayed. But oh my word, this morning I feel kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie. But I thought what we'd do is a Q&A, and I asked all of you guys on Instagram yesterday, I said, have you got any questions that you want answered? And I've got some really good ones to do with like where we're living, to do with me selling my, do you remember the blue GT3 Porsche that I had? Loads of questions about why I sold that. So I thought I'd go through those. So the first question is from Mimi Salamer 2025, and you've put, hi, visiting London for the first time, where to shop and other things to do, 2 days only. I would definitely say, I mean, obviously you've got like you've got to do Harrods, and I would personally do Selfridges as well if you're here. But I would personally say I really like the Covent Garden area, Chinatown and Soho, and they're all walkable. You kind of walk and you merge into each district as you go. You don't have to get taxis. And Covent Garden in particular has got really good shops, quirky little shops that sell things that aren't your regular stuff that you can buy anywhere. You know, they've got really good shops there. So I would definitely say there. Two Pups and their mum has said, how is the new car going? Looked amazing in the vlog. I'm loving that little car. I say little, it feels little. I absolutely love that car, and we're going to get onto it in a minute, but I'm actually preferring it way more than the GT3. So I'll explain that. You've also said, does your new location lifestyle affect the bags that you use out of your collection? Yeah, you know what? I'm actually using my designer bags where I am now because it's, touch wood, it's so safe around here. And I don't feel threatened at all. And it's not like in London, people know what you've got. Like round here, I don't feel like, it's not that people don't recognise a Chanel bag, it's that they don't care. So you can use your stuff and you don't feel like you're going to get mugged for it, kind of thing. But also what I'm really getting into is we discovered, it's like my favourite shop now. We discovered this antique shop in our new village, and it's like, it sells everything from trinkets and ornaments from like years gone by to fashion. And when we first started looking around it, I was like, yeah, this is cool. And it reminds me of my grand's house, weirdly enough. But then we went upstairs and I discovered the clothing and the handbags. And I have now bought 4 handbags from them. I'm going to do a haul because I've got some newer handbags, 3 new handbags that I haven't shown you. And one is full snake from the 70s. It was £30. And these are the bags that I'm using at the moment because they're so cool. I'm in like a retro thing at the moment where I want to like live the 70s, you know what I mean? Like I'm into that sort of fashion, like the flared jeans and the clogs and the little top and then a 70s bag. And, you know, I'm just loving that at the moment. Obviously, I don't do my hair 70s, but, you know, vibes from it. Okay, the next one is from Zarzak786. How are you so positive with a refreshing outlook on life? You seem to have zero worries. Have you got any tips? That's a really good question. And do you know something? I feel so lucky. I was actually in the shower this morning and I was thinking of your question, you know, because I remember reading it yesterday and I thought, what can I say about this? Right. I want to say I'm naturally a positive person. I look on things from a positive point of view. So for example, I keep a gratitude journal, right? I try and write in it every day. And if I miss a few days, then I'll put an entry in, but I'll include good things that happened in the days previous. And I think what it does, it makes me focus on only good. Now, in a day, bad things can happen or not so good things can happen. But there is always a chink of sunlight in every day. There is always something good. And I think doing that gratitude journal now since January 2025 has actually retrained my mind. And now, particularly since moving, actually, because like we're in our dream house now. This is going to be our forever home. We've made it dreamy. I know it's a right mess behind me because I'm having my wardrobes built, but it's just, we look around this house and we look at each other, me and David, and we're like, how has this happened? This is something that I've manifested this. I've wanted this kind of thing for so long, and it doesn't feel, it feels like I'm going to wake up and it hasn't happened. Like it just, how we've got the house looking, like our garden is just incredible. Like we've got a rose garden. Like I have always wanted that, and we just got more space than we ever did before. And we just, like, as I say, can't believe it. And that's something that I really believe came through, obviously working for it, you know. It's like you can't ask the universe to win the lottery if you're not playing it. You know, you've got to work. If there's things you want that are like material, you've got to obviously go to work and earn and save or whatever. But yeah, it just kind of feels a bit surreal. And so I think tips would be definitely the gratitude journal, because not only does it retrain your mind to be positive only, but you start, like, if you write in it things that you want at the beginning of each year and then don't look at that list until the end of the year, you would be mind blown at how many things actually come your way. And I do believe it brings things to you. But also, you know what, other things, I'm really lucky. I'm pretty much retired now, and that work used to really stress me out, as it does everyone, I want to say. And I'm in such a lucky position that I've been able to do that. I do still consult, so I do still dip in and out, you know. Like I haven't actually worked now since February, and then we obviously moved house, and I that would have been, if I had work in actually through May, June and now, it would have been really difficult because I wasn't there to do it. But excuse me, yeah, just I think it's like lifestyle things really is what's made it different. But definitely the work thing, that is a massive blessing. To not have to work is huge, and it's made a big difference to my life. The next one is from Two Pups and Their Mum. How are you living in the countryside and setting? Basically, do I miss the city sort of life, or do I love it? I love it. I was really worried, you know. I was really worried that it was going to feel fun for the first couple of weeks, and then what have we done for the rest of it? But actually, we love it. I can't deny, and I feel just so lucky. The next one is, when will you visit India? I'd love to visit India. Do you know that? I would absolutely love to visit India. There's so many places I want to go, and that is one of them. Two Pups and Their Mum. You've also got a couple more questions. How are you planning on having all your bags displayed in your new wardrobe? Seeking tips. I don't know at the moment, actually, because until the new wardrobe's built, I'm not sure how much space I'm going to have left over. And I actually counted my bags 2 days ago because I was just curious. I've got over 105 bags, and they're all stacked up behind me. They might have to stay on this shelf. I'm in my office, right? And I love this room because when I'm working in the day, if I'm doing anything, I can like look at my bags and it makes me smile. But I don't know, I might have to keep them in here, but put a few on display in the walk-in wardrobe. I don't know. To be honest, you know what I did in the walk-in wardrobe? You know how you can spec them where they have open sections so you can display like some flowers or whatever? I was going to do that, but I've got so much stuff. I thought, no, use that space that you would use for display areas and use it as wardrobe space. So that's what I've done. So it's all closed in. I'm hoping it's going to look nice and not too like boxy or anything. You've also said, how is your Hermes bag collection going? Do you still love it? I do. I mean, I haven't bought anything. I had like a really random question the other day. It was really weird and it was kind of contradictory, because on one hand it was like, why aren't you buying luxury anymore? And why are you only buying vintage and premium brands? But then on the other hand, it was like, why have you bought a luxury car? And I was like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, do you want me to buy luxury or not buy luxury? Like, I really didn't. It really confused me. And I didn't understand the question. I didn't know how to respond back to it. But yeah, I've been buying like vintage pieces, or just love like secondhand these days. But I've got my Picotin in the Loop and Constance. I've only got 3 bags from there and I'm happy with that. And I have no plans to buy any more. Right, the next one is from C. Santrazani. Not a question, but I love your style. More than that, I love the view of life. A lot like mine. Thank you so much. I feel like my style's quite like bland, really. I just like wearing like a t-shirt and some jeans with like a little jacket over the top, you know. You've also said, do you have any plans for a summer vacation? Christine, you're Christina from Greece. Hello, Christina from Greece. I actually don't. So we got the house in May, spent a lot on it, spent a lot doing it up. And so we don't want to go away until next year, because we have had to budget a lot for the house and the roof still needs fixing. And we cannot find a roofer for love nor money who can do it anytime soon. The soonest quote we had was September, but then he's extended it out to October. And we're trying to find a roofer who can do it, and we can't find anyone. Anyone who's available anytime soon anyway. But that's going to cost around £17,000. Some quotes have been £23,000 to fix the roof. So you can see like the money that we would spend on a holiday, we're just like, let's just chuck it into the house and go on holiday next year. And also, in the weirdest way possible, the house is feeling like a holiday. We don't want to go out in the day. We get up in the morning and we just want to do DIY or stuff around the house. We're not even wanting to go out. So neither of us feel like we're missing out right now on a holiday. Gavin92, I love you. You've said, I know with the house and car you won't be going far, but any Euro trips planned? No, I mean, as I mentioned there, this house feels like a holiday. We've got no desire right now to sort of leave it anytime soon. And also it's difficult now because we've obviously got Louis and the bunnies, and the places we used to go to for boarding, we are too far away now. And so we are back in a position where we don't have anywhere to board them, nowhere that we trust anyway. And I need to look into it. But yeah, that's difficult when you have pets, actually. The Little City in the Woods has said, where are your favourite independent shops in the UK? Do you know, I think it's in like these little country villages. Honestly, country villages. And also I've got really into garden centres. We're really into our garden these days. And I've spent a small fortune at garden centres since we moved in here. And so has David. And when I say a small fortune, I'm not even joking when I say we bought the fire pit. That was like over £1,000. We've bought like plants. I'll go and buy plants. Every time I go to this one garden centre, it's 170 quid at the till, like every time. And we've bought a lot of plants. We've oh my God, so much. I swear we've spent like probably about 2k since June. That's like a month in garden centres. So it's just madness. You can find some really cute, like you know, the luxury vintage pieces I'm finding, they're just all in little local shops. But also, as I say, Covent Garden, if you're in London, Covent Garden's really good. Renee's coastal aesthetic. How have you found the move to the country? Has it been an adjustment? It has a little bit. And I would say the main thing has been social life. So my social life has completely changed. Before, I was out like every day. Since moving, I haven't been. And I think this is part of the reason why I've been able to lose some weight, because I've not been going out and I'm doing DIY around the house, or I literally had to pickaxe part of the garden a couple of weeks ago, and it in that heat that we had, and it's all a workout, you know? So I think that's why I've lost some weight, but no, it's been really good living here. KL for I'm like Kimberly. It's been forever, but I hope you are both well. Love and hugs, and to you as well. Sophie on Insta, are you still planning to move abroad now you've moved house? Not now. Maybe in the future, when we get older, maybe, but probably not. This does feel like our forever home now. And yeah, I'm glad that we've bought here. Fidelma 1975, what is the best trip you've ever experienced and where would your dream destination be? My best trips are Asia every time. I just love Asia. Every time I go there, I feel like I've stepped home more than I feel in Europe. It's really weird. And I as you know, I love Singapore, I love Japan, I love Hong Kong. I really want to go to Thailand. And I would like to go to Bali as well. And I would also like to do Australia. Never done Australia, and I'd like to do that. And then we've got some more questions. CAMDNRR. How is Louis doing? And how has your life changed since getting a dog? Louis is doing great. He loves it here. There's loads of walks. Although, do you know, Louis, he's like a little Pomeranian. He hates going for walks. You get his lead out, and like our family dog when I was growing up, you get out his lead and he would know he was going to go for a walk before you even moved. I don't know how he knew it. He used to get really excited and bounce around. Louis, when you get his lead out, he hides. He wears like a body harness because you can't put collars on Pomeranians. And he just hates going out for a walk. He's not interested. You'll leave the front door open by accident. Dogs, when I grew up, would have bolted and come home hours later. Louis doesn't. He just stands at the door and looks out. He's not interested in leaving home. But definitely, it's been so great having a dog. But it does change your life, because if you do want to go out, you can't go out the whole day anymore. You've got to think about them and only go out a few hours and etc. The rabbits are easy because you make sure they've got food and water down and fresh hay, and you can leave them for a few hours. With a dog, it's different. Have you, the next one, Emma Carrot. Have you ever been to Africa? If not, are you planning on visiting at all? We would love to go to Africa. And do you know what I really want to do in Africa? I want to go to Kenya and do safari. And it's something that I will do in my lifetime. I absolutely will do it. Go Happy Girl 4. Are you and David happy living in the countryside? Yes, as I mentioned, absolutely loving it. Duchovny Anna, are you still thinking about moving? Are you still considering Singapore? So we've now moved, and you know, as you know, we've been, since 2023, we have been doing two things: looking at properties in the UK and looking to move abroad and trying to weigh up things. And in the end, we decided to stay because we couldn't decide on somewhere to go. And also, whenever we were looking at emigrating, it seemed so messy, all the paperwork, and it seemed really like confusing, and we didn't know what we were doing, and it felt like scary, like completely leaving your friends and family. Introvert life, good question. Why did you sell your blue Porsche GT3? Okay, why did I sell it? A couple of reasons. The number one reason is that car was beautiful, but it was horrible to drive. And when I say horrible to drive, it was loud, rattly. The suspension was so firm, it was like driving a brick. If you went over a pothole, your teeth wanted to fall out of your head. It got to be, and also when you drove it, you attracted trouble. you'd get people that would want to race you or would tailgate you or would intimidate you. And what started happening is I was using it less and less because I didn't want to attract all of that. And I was using our other car more, our Fiesta. And then last October, so October 2025, I had to take it for a service. And when I thought about it, David said to me, you haven't driven this car since July. You're driving it in October. And he said, you're only driving it because you have to, because it needs a service. And then I got back from the service, put it in the garage, didn't drive it again until the end of December. And in fact, did I drive? No, I didn't drive it at all, actually. And it got to the end of December. And David, we were looking at houses in the UK at this point. And we'd found the one that we ended up buying, but we didn't think we were ever going to get this house. And it's just fortunate that we did. Anyway, David said to me, he's like, you've got this car in the garage that's got a value to it, a high value, and you're not using it like really ever. And he said it's such a waste of money. So that's why I sold it. I sold it because there was so much money in it and I wasn't using it. And all I would do is I would go in the garage and stare at it every so often and be like, wow, I love this car. But I didn't love it enough to actually drive it. And it was even things like if you drove it, you couldn't hear your music over the engine. It was so loud in there. And it was so juddery and it's a track car. It's not really it's meant to be like a hybrid track road car, but it wasn't. And so that's why I sold it. And then what happened is I pocketed the money and I thought, I'll put that towards the house. And then we bought the house, and then I hadn't put the money into the house at that point. I put it in a high interest account and I left it there. And then it got to June this year, 2026. And David said to me, because we've only got one car at the moment, because we've sold so many of the cars, because more so David than me, he buys exotics and then he buys them and he loves them, but then he hates driving them because, again, they attract unwanted attention. So he's like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm going to sell it and get my money back. So anyway, it got to June and David said, you're driving me nuts, like because the Fiesta's his. He's like, you're always out and then I need the car and there's no car to use. And we were clashing as well. Like one day I had to be somewhere, but so did he, and his appointment was like more important than mine because of what it was. And so I was the one who had to cancel all my appointments for that day, and it just got really messy. And then Porsche Centre Reading contacted me because they're my dealership. And they said, look, we've got this car and it's brand new. I think it was a cancelled order. The car I bought, I think it was a cancelled order. And they did me such a good deal on it. I couldn't even turn it down. The deal they did me was just, it was like the universe telling me, this is your car. Like, you can't pass up on this deal. It was such a good deal. So that's why I ended up getting that car, and I'll come on to it, but I'm actually driving that car where I didn't drive the GT3. Alma A. Zax, any advice for someone who is wanting to start a luxury bag business as a side hustle? Do you know what? I literally, sorry, I've got some fluff on my face. I literally have no advice because I've never set up a business like that. In luxury bags, I don't know. I can't even recommend. This piece of fluff is still here. D Witty 1, what are your favourite travel destinations? Definitely Asia. Q Nifty, how are you enjoying the Porsche? And what do you think of the new BMW X5? Love it, really love it. Both cars, I was going to say. Lady Loves Perfume, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? Do you know, I actually don't know. I saw your question earlier and I thought, what a good question. And I don't know the answer. And the reason is I tend to live for the day. Obviously, I live for the year. So I normally plan ahead my year when it comes to work or goals, things I want to achieve. but I don't plan for 5 or 10 years in advance. I plan financially to make sure that in 10 years I'm sound, but I don't think, I'm not like in 10 years, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to be doing. Hopefully in 10 years I'll still be here. That's the only thing I think. The next one is from Jumble Sales Style. What do you think of the rise of secondhand shopping for both clothes and accessories? I love it. As you can probably tell, I've got so into it. I love scoring a deal, and I love now rummaging through a charity shop or a vintage shop and going, oh, like there is a bag behind you, and I'm going to show it in a video coming up. It is an ostrich bag. It's 1950s, and I got it for £60, and it's ostrich. It does smell a bit inside, but I've spoken to Handbag Angels to ask if they can make me a custom liner for it, which should help that problem out. But I just love it. Felipe has said, any advice on how to cope with a broken heart? I'm really sorry to hear that. Because you say that you broke up with your boyfriend because he wants an ethical non-monogamy. I think time is the best thing. It's the only thing. Time, and when the time feels right, being open-minded to find a new relationship. I think that in the early stages, when you break up with someone, it's heartbreaking and it's awful and it's really upsetting, and you've got all of these feelings floating around. But then in time, when you get to a point where you open like your spirit back up again, and you can attract another person, like the right person, I think that's probably the best thing to do. You've also said, oh yeah, because you've said, I still strongly believe that one person can be enough for the rest of our lives. I agree. Nick Solano, can you give us an update on the house? Loving it. Fiona Warrior, what's your opinion on the quality of high-end designer bags at the moment? I'm not really feeling it. I haven't been luxury shopping for a handbag in what must have been, when did I last buy a luxury handbag? I think it was the In the Loop bag, and David bought that for me. I didn't even buy that bag. And that was, when was that? Early 2025, maybe even 2024. I can't remember. But I'm just like not into it. I feel like luxury bags, like some brands more than others, have felt a bit luxury fast fashion. You know, it's like they're constantly bringing out new bags and discontinuing the last one, and there's a new one, and there's a new one, and I sometimes the quality's not up to scratch. Like, I was actually talking to this really interesting lady a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about designer bags because she's a collector, and she's got like a fabulous collection from dating all the way back to the 60s. And some of those bags she's never used. Anyway, we got talking, and she said, you know what? Louis Vuitton has got to be one of the worst quality brands. And she was even saying that going back in time, she was like, I've got luggage from Louis Vuitton that I bought, say, 20 years ago. And she was like, the zips have broken, or the gold's coming off the zips, you know, rubbing off around the edges. And I was like, I have to agree. I find Louis Vuitton quality really actually quite bad. The other question is from McGarrity Catherine. How tall are you? I'm 5'8". The other question is from S.A. Tascarin. Dear Sophie, how are you mad at me because the giveaway got sent back from the customs? I'm not sure what that means. The giveaway from customs. I'm sorry, I can't remember what that means, what that is. DM me, I can't remember what that is. FFS 2585. Favourite new designer bags. They're not designer, but I'm really enjoying my vintage bags. Tio Diora Sally. What do you think how marketing will change with AI? Oh, massively. Do you know what? I know of freelancers and even agencies now who are using AI to actually write briefs. And I'm old-fashioned. I like to use my brain. I think AI is great. Like, I think if you're going to use AI to make sure that you've thought of every possible aspect. But don't just go, right, I've done it now. Like, go through it and add your own insight and your own knowledge, because AI is not always correct. Sometimes it misses things. Sometimes it gives false information, or it doesn't understand the question or whatever. And I literally know of companies using AI even to build websites. And again, it's great, but I think there's going to come a point with AI, not just in marketing, but where jobs get reduced. Because if you can build a website with AI, you don't need a developer, you don't need a designer. So what are those people going to do for a living? I think we could sleepwalk into a problem here where a lot of jobs go unrequired, and then you've got people who can't do anything because they've got no job to go into. I mean, I think AI is great and I use it a lot, but I think it's also quite dangerous and quite worrying just because of the work thing. Miss Dior, no question, been following you for like 15 years on YouTube. You're my fave. Thank you so much. You've also said, buying my first luxury bag. What's the first luxury bag worth the money? Oh, is anything worth the money anymore? If I was buying my first luxury bag, I would probably, it depends on the brand you want to buy and what your budget is. So it's hard for me to answer that. But I would personally go for something like that vintage Chanel that's just there, because that was about £3,600 and it's like perfect and I love it. Whereas you go and buy a Chanel bag now, it's well over like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10K. Do you want to be spending that much money on a bag that's, in my opinion, not as good quality as that? So that's what I would say. Maybe consider vintage if it's your thing. Esterg 102, favourite place to vintage shop. It's got to be this place I found, like, but also Etsy can be quite good for vintage. Like, check out Etsy. The only thing you've got to worry about with Etsy is sometimes things on there look vintage, but actually they're modern day pieces that have been aged to look old when actually they're not. So you do have to be a bit careful, but there are actual shops on there that are dedicated to selling vintage. Mode Expat, top favorite pieces in your wardrobe and why? I've got a few Chanel jackets that I bought back in the day and I love them. And I also really love my Dior bar jackets, really like those. I've got bags that I love, like one of you, in fact quite a lot of you, keep asking me, can you see these bags back here? Or even that one there that's like checkerboard. Get so many of you asking me in the comments about these. This is from Coachtopia and it's called the Ergo bag and I like it so much. I bought it in 4 colours. This was in the sale. That purpley one was in the sale. The cherry one, which is special, like this is the cherry one. I love this. This was not in the sale. That was like £120. The checkerboard one I found on eBay because that was sold out and I got that for a really good price. I want to say I paid about £50 for it. So that's like really good. But yeah, I'm loving all this kind of thing at the moment. KH Vantage, do you miss your GT3 compared to the Carrera? Okay, so here's where I was going to answer that question. No. I miss how it looks. I miss, in a weird way, I miss the privilege of owning that car because that car is like a quota car. Yeah, is that how you would say it? You have to be invited to buy it. But I spoke to Reading and they said, look, you're still on the programme. So if in the future you wanted another one, don't worry, the door is still open for you because you've had one before, the door is still open. So I miss it from that perspective, it feeling quite rare. But I don't miss it because it was a lot of money sat in the garage doing nothing, frankly. And it wasn't something I was ever reaching for. Whereas the Carrera that I've got now is comfortable. The suspension, like what's happened to me? It's comfortable. The suspension is soft. The seats are comfortable because they're not bucket seats. That car is like driving around in a slipper but it's got speed when you want it. You can hear your music over the engine, but it still sounds good. I've missed the soft top. It's a cabriolet. I've really missed not having that for the last, so I haven't had a cabriolet since 2021, and I'm back in one now. And like the other day, it was really lovely and warm, and I took the roof down and it felt great, you know. So actually I'm not missing the GT3 at all, and the Carrera cost a lot less than that GT3, so I still want money in the bank, so I'm very happy with that. But yeah, it's a great car. The new car, the Carrera, great car. Really happy with it. So that's all of your questions. Quite a long video, 35 minutes. What can I say? I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I will see you in the next one.